since you made the enviable choice of doing Algebra 2 over the summer, you're probably wondering where it is that you should begin. Well, I would suggest actually calling up Google Classroom because I've already signed you up, as you probably have gotten an email saying as such. And if I call this thing up, of course, it'll default to the stream. You can look at the classwork. I don't know if you have access to people or not. Okay, whatever. I would suggest navigating the system in the classwork tab. However, you're missing out on a nice little navigational thing that happens on the web version of Google Classroom only. And I'm going to be doing the grades through Google Classroom too, and it doesn't look like you have access to those either. So let me show you how to access, if you've already installed the app on whatever device that you are using, then it won't let you open it in Google, like Google Classroom. Or will it? As a matter of fact, this is how you do it. So if you just open yourself a new tab, and then we just Google search Google Classroom. There it is. And then if I go to open it, okay, this is what I want. I want to sign into Classroom, but instead of just hitting that sign into Classroom, I'll hold it. Or if you're on some sort of device, you just like right click on it or something. And then I'm going to choose to open this in a new tab. Come on, open in a new tab. Are you going to open in a new tab? Maybe I already have it open in a new tab. Here, let me see. Look at that. I've got 3 copies of it because 1 is just not enough. Okay, so once it is open in a new tab, and I select my class here, and I go to classwork, now over here on the left-hand side, you can see all of the different dates, and that's how I've organized the classwork for you so that you know exactly what is due on a given day that you're supposed to be up there at Geyer. Okay, now also you can see all of the different grades, and nobody is currently failing. This is a good sign. Anyway, here, let me go back to the classwork. And the very first tab up here that says resources, the first one is the Algebra 2 website, which is my flippin' math website. Let me go into resources and then click on that one. And as far as this goes, some of the things that you might be interested in here are the syllabus. I'm going to go over here to the syllabus. And this is the same exact document that you had whenever you applied for the class right there. And this will give you at least the schedule of the things that you're supposed to do. And then grade breakdown, reassessment and stuff. Oh, let me just say this about reassessment. We will not reassess a single quiz, even though we're going to have quizzes daily. That'll be reassessed on the tests, which will be done weekly on Mondays, but not the first Monday. Anyway, let's go back. Right next to it says SHAM, scope and sequence. So if I go on that, it's the same exact schedule, but it goes into detail if you care about these things, about the objectives that we're going to be learning, and then over here on the right-hand side what the bookwork is and stuff that we're going to go along with it. All right, let me go back to Chrome. Underneath that, you know, back in geometry we had our memory card, our Sunoco card. We've got one for Algebra 2. I'll have one of these things printed out for you the first day of class, and one of the first things that we'll do in class is that we'll start filling the thing out. As a matter of fact, first day 1, we will have most of that very first column filled out together. Okay, and that's probably it on this first page. Here, let me go back here. Google Classroom link. I've already gotten that set up for you. Yes, okay. And keep scrolling down, and then you can see all of the different units that we're going to be doing. However, even though this exists right here and you can easily navigate by just clicking on or tapping on one of the pictures, that's probably not how I would do it. I would instead go to Google Classroom in order to get all of the different parts of the website where you need to do your videos and check your assignment and stuff. Okay, other things in the resource, there's that same scope and sequence and syllabus and schedule. There's the Sunoco if you need a copy of it. And then the very last one there says Microsoft Teams. So if for whatever reason you can't make it in class on one of our Tuesday, Thursday class days, then you absolutely need to try to tune in over Teams. And if you just click or tap that, it'll be the same exact meeting that I'll have in class. And you can see that it's trying to get me to join, but there's nothing to join right now. Okay, anyway. All right, let's go back over here to a blank tab. Okay. All right then. All right. We need to go back to Google Classroom again. All right, now I'm going to go to June 7th. So this is our first Tuesday. These are the things that you're supposed to have done. Usually there's going to be about 3 lessons that you have to do for a given, in preparation for a given class day. So this first one is 1.6 on linear inequalities, 1.7 on absolute value equations and inequalities, and then stuff about representing functions and relations, in particular about domain and range and stuff. Let's see, I think there's stuff in there about interval notation, set builder notation, and stuff like that. Might be in one of these things. Okay, so let's look at the very first lesson that we need to do, which is 1.6. Here it says at home video lessons and objective 1. There's 2 different videos there. There's A and B, and it tells you what those things are about. And objective 2, there's also 2 videos there. So when you're watching these little videos, of course, you're treating it just like it's your teacher. You're taking notes as you normally would in class, including you, Zion. Anyway, and then right underneath it, you're going to do a few of these bookwork problems here. There will never be any challenge problems that you have to do at home. All the challenge problems, all those tougher problems, we're going to wait until we get into class, doing some activities, the challenge problems and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to click on the little link to go to the Flippin' Math page on 1.6. And as you are used to seeing, you've got the lesson notes right underneath it, lesson answers if you needed access to the actual PDF of the PowerPoint slides and stuff. Challenge problems, don't worry about it. I'll have printouts for that stuff for you, the answers, and then the bookwork worked out answers. I'll come back to that in just a little bit. If I scroll down just a little bit, here is objective 1 and objective 2, individual pages for the lesson video. So I'm going to click on objective 1 here, the first one, and you can see that there are 2 videos there. And like I said, back in Google Classroom, it said that there was objective 1A and 1B to experience through there. Down at the bottom of each one of these pages, put some navigational buttons. This first one on the left, you can go back to the main page for the whole entire unit if you needed to. The one that is right in the middle takes you back to the main page for this particular lesson. It's loading. There it goes. And then finally, the button on the right-hand side will take you to objective 2, the next thing in line. Is it loading? I don't think it is. Tap, 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 tap. It's not responding. Okay. All right, then fine. I'll just go there this way. All right, and then in objective 2, you can see that likewise there are 2 videos and an adorable optional video featuring the Powerpuff Girls about inequalities and stuff. Okay. All right, so once I'm done with that, I would highly recommend that back here in Google Classroom that you check it off, you turn it in some kind of way. You don't have to take pictures and turn those things in. I'm just going to see your stuff whenever we get into class. You're more than welcome to if you want to, but I would at least do something to turn it in here. I wish I could show you, but I can't because I don't have like that availability on the teacher side. Anyway, so then once you're done with that one, you move on to 1.7 and then the 2.1. Oh yeah, that's right. Before I forget, you have this at home bookwork assignment, and these are in our old Algebra 2 book. Unfortunately, you don't have a copy of it yet, and until you do, if you just click on this PDF on the right-hand side here, when it opens it up, it is actually the super secret teacher's edition because that's the only one I had a PDF for. And it's actually a pretty clean scan of the PDF instead of, one of those kind of sideways skew looking scans that you sometimes see of books. Anyway, so it's the whole entire chapter, the 1.6. It goes through the notes and stuff if you needed it. And then you scroll down and you can see what the exercises are supposed to be. Right, and the teacher's edition has all of the answers right beside it. Don't use them to cheat. What's the point of doing that? You're trying to practice to understand how to do those things. If the answer itself is not enough, of course, you can just go back to, there we go. We can go back to the website, and then the website has the worked out solutions. Let me go to the bookwork answers. Okay, and then in order to find these, there's the 1-6 guided practice, which we're not doing. And then over here on the right-hand side, you can see skill practice. That's where it starts. I think ours started it with like number 24, something like that. So it starts here. You can see some very nice typed out, worked out solutions. Man, this was a lot of work typing this out for you, pretending like I did that. Anyway, so that should do it, at least for this initial video. I think that'll be enough to get you guys started. Like I said, whenever we get to, I'm going to go back this way. Where's this? Okay. When we get back to finishing off the 3 lessons in preparation for that first day of class on Tuesday, you can see down here at the bottom that there's quiz 1. It tells you what's on that quiz. This is not an online quiz. This will be a quiz that we take in class at the very end, pretty close to that 1 o'clock deadline, so that we have time to clear up any questions that you might have and work through some tougher problems and do some activities in preparation for actually taking that first quiz. Okay, so if you have any questions about any of the lessons as you're going through, you can see that there's a place for that kind of question. You just go to the add a class comment, type something in for that particular lesson. It'll shoot me an email, and I'll do my best to try to get back to you as soon as possible about it. Okay, until then, I will see you in class.